Hey you. Hey you all. Today I have my second infusion. I'm a bit nervous because every time I go in there, I have the risk of anaphylaxis because of my mast cell activation syndrome. I'm in an infusion center, so my doctor told them everything to keep me very safe, and there's pre-meds and it's all very safe. I'm just nervous, obviously, because being high risk and all. So if you could just send some prayers, good wishes, good thoughts, whatever you do, send them my way, that would be really great. I'll probably be making videos from the infusion center. Maybe I'll go live. I'll be there today at 10 a.m. Central Time. Love you all so much and all your support. Stay strong, my TikTok fans.
I'm putting in the work. I'm putting in the work.
Hey.
Hey you. Hey you all. So I officially had my first anaphylactoid reaction at the infusion center. It was to my iron infusion called Injectifer, which is an allergic-friendly medication. I pushed my button as fast as I could. My nurse came in and she noticed me stuttering and slurring. She got the charge nurse. I asked for Benadryl. By the time the Benadryl got there, I was coughing because my throat felt like it was swelling up. My brain felt like it was on fire. My chest felt like it was on fire. My tongue was thick. I was losing all of my speech. They got my glucagon pen out because I can't have EpiPen. I called my mom because they needed to interpret what I was saying because it was so hard to understand me between my slurring and my thick tongue. I stayed calm because I knew that would help. Then I had a stiff attack in the middle and it locked my jaw shut, which if I needed to be intubated, that would make it so much more complicated. Thank God the Benadryl helped. We didn't finish my infusion. Today was scary.
This is how my day went. You got this, buddy. No, he's gonna make it. Oh, shit.
Oh, shit is right.
Here, Bear. You okay? Where are you?
I'm not okay.
He's mad.
Drowning?
Yeah, I'm mad.
Come on, buddy. Come here. Come here. Come here and let me dry you.
Well, hello there, my YouTube people. I finally got a video from inside at the infusion center. So I'm all hooked up here. This is the actual bag of my infusion for iron. It's called Injectifer. You can see here it's running. It hasn't actually reached here. You can see it's slowly getting, it's finally slowly coming in here. You can see when it turns red, that will finally be reaching my veins, but it's slowly coming in. You can see over here, the red color, that's the actual Injectifer. I finally actually read up on Injectifer. Injectifer, they chose that because it has a certain component in it that is not in other iron, injectables that they would use that are more friendly for people who have allergic reactions. So, yep, they do Injectifer in 2 doses normally, but it would only take 15 minutes. But as we know, for me, we have to do it extra slow because allergic reactions are very possible for me. We have taken the Tylenol, we have taken the Benadryl, and we have taken the steroids. I'm definitely feeling very tired. I am a bit nauseous. We have some pretzels and water here. I'm just hanging out on TikTok right now, listening to some music. Also, if you look, there's a cute little TV right here. You can move it backwards and forwards. There's a clicker. There's also a nice little chair over there, if you can see. If I was correct, there are 9 different bays here. We've got nurses on staff. This is actually called a cancer center. So there's a lot of different people that come in here for infusions, but specifically, a lot of people can do infusions at home, but specifically for me, I cannot do infusions other places, or another, just casually at any place, because I have to do it under precautions, at a place where if I needed to have a tube or have any intervention, that's why we do it here specifically, so that they can keep me safe. And there's some places, some rooms that don't have beds. I'm in a bed. So if I were to go into anaphylaxis because of my mast cell, that's why I have a room with a bed and other people just have chairs. For other videos on why would I go into anaphylaxis, if you go back a couple videos on my infusion videos, you will see that I am much higher risk for anything. And at this point now, I've had a lot of poking and prodding in the past couple weeks here, so the risk goes up every time we poke and prod around on me. So today the risk is even a little bit higher. So yeah, I'll probably add this video in to another video, but that's all for now. Hope you are doing all well. Hello, I probably will have a video right before this of me in the infusion lab and maybe some videos, and then it will be me talking. So edit now into me. Okay, now we're back. So yeah, that happened. I had my first anaphylactoid reaction to what is called injectifer. That is what I have been taking for the iron supplement at the infusion center, and things I thought were going fine, and then all of a sudden I noticed my mast cells go completely nuts. So let's start from the top. I got to the infusion center, checked in, everything was fine, and hooked me up. We did the pre-meds of Tylenol, steroid, Benadryl. Everything went fine. Waited 30 minutes, everything was fine. Then they started the injectifer. Injectifer is supposed to be an allergic-friendly iron. It's like the only one out there. It has a substance missing from it that other iron things don't have. So I don't know if I need more iron. I don't know how we would do this. And when it first started, I'm not gonna lie, I did notice this weird sensation, this burning sensation in my head, and I felt dizzy, and I felt the burning sensation in my arm, and I felt this joint pain in my hand, and I ignored it. I felt sort of jittery, and I knew something was acting up, but I was like, no, maybe this is just the initial, like, you know, when you get a flush in your IV. And I just ignored it completely. I was like, no, this is nothing, because I just don't think about it. It's fine. Everything's fine. Nothing's happened before. We've done IVs, we've done medications. It's fine. Here's why I think everything happened yesterday. I've had an upper endoscopy recently. Before that, the week before that, I had the other infusion. So we've had infusion, upper endoscopy, infusion. So my mast cells, you know, once you start poking the bear and like messing around with the body of a mast cell person, your mast cells just start to get angry, and that, like, it's like this, ooh, 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 and it just blows. And my mast cells just popped its top yesterday. Like, it said, we're done, we're angry, we can't handle it anymore, and it just popped its top. And so it reacted to the medication. So I had the first initial, like, this is weird. But I kept on playing on my TikTok, I kept watching TV, the nurse came in and checked on me in a little bit. It was fine, I was still talking fine, because I think I called somebody, or I chatted on my Snapchat, whatever, everything was fine. And then all of a sudden I felt my internal vibrations happen, which basically I've learned that my internal buzzing and my internal vibrations is literally my mast cells going like this. It's like my mast cells talking. I am so in tune with my body that I can feel my mast cells actually activating. Now, for somebody who does not have mast cells, that sounds a little nutty. For somebody like me, who is so hyper aware of their body, I can tell you the second a symptom is about to start. When I was in the nursing home, I could tell mom before the symptom was about to happen. I would say, hey mom, I just had a brain zap. Something on the lower half of my body is about to freak out on that half of my body. Shortly after, my leg would go on that side of my body. Like, I can feel the mast cell reacting. So, yeah. Then all of a sudden I started getting this weird vibration and tremor in my hand. Then I started talking out loud, and I noticed that I was stuttering and slurring, and that's my first big, hey, there's something wrong. So I pushed the button, and I called the nurse in, and the nurse wasn't my normal nurse, and so I talked to her, and I said, this isn't my normal, I need Benadryl. And she's like, okay, let me see if you have Benadryl on your chart. And I said, I need my nurse, she needs to hear my voice. My nurse came in, and I started talking to her, and I was talking like this, and she goes, we were just talking, this is not your voice, this is not normal. I said, I need a Benadryl, this is my mast cell. And she goes, you're having a reaction. And I go, reaction, bad, now, Benadryl. And so she got the charge nurse, and within that moment, it was like everybody ran into the room, lights were on, and right before the Benadryl was getting the flush, all of a sudden I started coughing. My chest got tight. I felt my throat get thick. Not thick, but like tight, and I just felt all of a sudden this it was like if somebody were to just sort of like grab your neck and go, ooh, just a little bit. Like if this collar were just to get a little tight. Just like if your mom were to take a scarf, and you know how when they take it like this and tie it too tight, all of a sudden I just started coughing. And that's when she was just like, push the IV Benadryl on me. And as soon as that happened, my tongue got really thick. So I was already stuttering and slurring, and everybody in the room is like, and my nurse is telling all the other nurses, that's not how she talks. That's not how she talks. She was talking to me perfectly fine before. And this is not her. I know her. I've seen her twice. Like, she's my patient. This is the second time she's been here. We talk all the time. She was laughing and having a good time. And then all of a sudden, and at this point, my brain is on fire. My chest feels funny. My throat now, I'm coughing. And my tongue goes from slurred speech. And then they say, go get her mom. Now, normally people cannot come into the infusion lab without having a COVID test. At this point, they're having a hard time understanding what I'm saying because they're having a hard time interpreting my speech. And so I'm like doing my normal things that I do to talk to mom, and they're not understanding at this point. So they get mom, they rush her in, and the Benadryl's in. Now my tongue is getting thick. So it's really hard to talk. So I'm stuttering, slurring, and my tongue is tingling and thick. So we're hitting anaphylactoid reaction here, where it's like throat is swelling up, my chest feels funny, my tongue is thick, I'm slurring my speech, my brain is on fire, my fingers are tingling, I have tremors, and then all of a sudden I felt the next thing. I was like, oh my God, I feel my stiff attack coming. And then I realized in my head, how were they going to, if I happen to go further, how would somebody get something into my mouth if I get stiff? Because then my jaw locked shut. Just locked shut. No more talking. Completely locked shut. My hands went in. And this was a stiff attack. It wasn't because I was passing out in lack of oxygen. This was a stiff attack because my mast cell doubles up with my stiff attack. Now, I'm not diagnosed with this, but right in the middle, right in the middle of everything. Everything gets stiff, and from the research, and I'm finding books now and everything, that I'm not diagnosed with it, but possibly this is what's going on, and it couples with it is stiff person syndrome, and we're on the journey of trying to get that diagnosed. My mast cell reactions, when I have one, I normally have my stiff attacks, and stiff person syndrome, they couple up together, and I knew that was coming. So that was quite interesting on top of everything else. So we had to sort of sit and wait for that to pass as well. But shortly before that, they say she has her pen with her, but they expected me to pull out an EpiPen. Because I am on a beta blocker, I have a glucagon syringe. So I pulled out, before I went stiff, I pulled out my glucagon syringe, which my nurse knew I had because I explained this to her the last time I was there, and nobody knew how to use it. Nobody in the room knew how to use a glucagon syringe. They all knew about an EpiPen, but nobody knew how to use a glucagon syringe. And so they open this box up and they look at it and they think, oh, maybe we can just put it into the IV, which my mom knew that it had to go into the muscle. But they had no idea what to do with it. So then they pull out the instructions, and the instructions just keep rolling out like it's a king's speech in like tiny fine print. It's like if someone was having a reaction, that would not be helpful. So I think I need to like make like a sticky note, or like wrap something around the outside of it or something to make it easier for people to understand, or make a video, something to make that much more, because they were all running around, and one of the nurses said, run, go figure this out in case we need to get it. So they pulled that out just in case they needed to actually use it, but they didn't want to use it in case they needed, like they were waiting to the last minute in case they needed to use it, because they're like, we don't want to use it till we need to use it. So they were running around trying to figure out that. So as soon as my jaw locked up, she goes, go get the rebreather mask, because they wouldn't be able to do anything now because my jaw was locked shut, which made me realize, I asked my mom on the way home, what would they have done if they couldn't have gotten in my mouth? And they said they would have had to go this way. And I'm like thinking, I was in a clinic, an infusion center, they wouldn't have been able to do that. They would have just had to sort of like force air in this way. But if this is all closed up and you're trying to pump air through my teeth that are like this, they would have had to probably wait for 911 to get there, or Grey's Anatomy, and like just like, screw it, we're just doing it. Like, I don't know. So as I'm just laying there, my muscles are super tight, so my tongue is still thick and numb and tingly. My throat's calmed down a little bit, like I can breathe, but it's just like right on the border of uncomfortable. My stats stayed normal, and the whole time I was cool as a cucumber, thanks to a TikToker that I've been watching called Jabby Abby. She makes awareness videos about anaphylaxis, about EpiPen. Basically her whole thing is awareness for allergic reactions and making people aware that allergies are a serious thing. And I sent her a note this morning saying, because of your videos, I stayed completely calm. And the nurses were actually very surprised. They're like, you're very calm for this whole thing to be happening. And I'm just sitting there like, giant neck collar, huge glasses, my mask is on. I'm just like, and once the Benadryl, it took 20 minutes. I don't know exactly how long, because when all of that was happening, there was a lot of neurological things happening. I don't talk a lot about the neurological things. I'll make a video about some of my neurological quirks. But when all of that was happening, part of me felt like I just wasn't there. I know that was because of a lot of Benadryl running through me, and I already had a dose of Benadryl earlier, but that wasn't enough, obviously. But my eye was shut. I was tweaking a bit, just like glitching out like a robot. Normally, that's what I call it. All of a sudden, I felt my hands start, the contraction stopped, my jaw relaxed, and the second everything dropped, the nurse goes, "Look, her heart rate's going down, her heart rate's going down." Like, it wasn't high, but it just all of a sudden, as soon as the contraction stops in my jaws, in my hands, and everything just goes, whoom. Like, she just watched my heart rate just go, because everything's so tense. It's like my whole body's so tight, and we've done this at home with a heart monitor on. You can watch my heart rate just drop the second the contractions stop inside my body, because it's so painful. It's not just like the muscles that are contracting. Everything inside my body is contracting. During a stiff attack, it just went whew, and she's like, "Oh, here we go, it's dropped." Ooh, oh, and it didn't drop too low, but it was just like, and the second my jaw unlocked, I was able to go, "Okay guys, it's done." And I just like turned my head and spoke normally, like my tongue was not thick, and everything just was like, whew. And literally it was like, I was able to get out, "Okay, it's done." And I just like put my head back and was like, and just laid there. And I was really tired. And everyone was like, "Oh, okay, thank you." But the charge nurse was there, and like every couple of minutes she's like, "How you doing? Okay. Okay, I'm just saying that we've got the pen. We've got the syringe if you need it. Okay." Because they just don't want to, give you that boost of something if you're not tipping over the edge. They don't want to go into any, severe intervention until it's needed. And, they'd already given me Tylenol. I'd already had steroids. I'd already had my first round of Benadryl when I got there for pre-med. And so then they gave me the big boost of Benadryl. And it took a while to like get through my whole system to calm them down. So then they said, "Anytime you're coming to this infusion center, your mom needs to come with you, because say she wasn't able to talk." And that's for somebody with mast cell, somebody with allergic reaction, like maybe stuttering wouldn't have been a sign for somebody, but for me, that's my first sign. That's my first trigger that something's not right. I stutter and slur, and I knew immediately I needed Benadryl. And the nurse was like, "She's really in tune with her body. She knew immediately what she needed, and she asked for it," and that was really good. But just in case she won't be able to ask for that, we need somebody to be with her in here, like a family member who understands like her body language and her communication skills. I'm also working on a speech board on my iPad, because there are times when I can't communicate and I'm nonverbal, and it's because my mast cells get so out of control that my sensories are like so crazy. So yeah. And then today, came home and I just slept basically and relaxed. Today now we have another problem. The treatment I am taking for mast cell, I seem to be having a reaction to as well. I had an allergic reaction to it, or my body's reacting to it, whatever. I can't seem to handle my cromolyn, which has been my first defense for my mast cell that we started. That was my first round of treatment. We are going to start using cromolyn. That was a harsh treatment to start on my body. My body did not like the cromolyn when we started it. And then once we got rolling, we were good. But as soon as we take it now, when we put it on me, I feel like you're dumping fire ants on me, and when we drink it, I seem to be getting super flushed. I'm reacting to my cromolyn, which some people can't handle, and I seem to now react to the medication that's supposed to be calming down my mast cells. I don't know if my mast cells are just in a huge reactive state right now, that they're just so hypersensitive that they can't handle anything. But I'm taking other medication right now and it's handling it, so I think we have to switch up a treatment plan here. So things are a bit out of hand. Really out of hand. Yeah. So it's been a bit interesting. So this morning, yeah, I reacted to my own treatment for mast cell. We have to call our doctor. Also, after we calmed everything down at the infusion center, they called my doctor and asked if we should restart the iron. And I was sitting there being like, please, don't make me do this again. Luckily, I got in 110 of the 125 milligrams of what I needed. I'm assuming he's going to do labs to see how much of a boost of the iron got into me. My next labs to test my iron and ferritin, because that is what is low, not my hemoglobin. It is my iron and ferritin. That will be tested in December, and we will be talking to the OBGYN to see if it is coming from a gynecological standpoint, because he believes that is coming from my menstrual cycle, because my cycles are so off. You can hear about that in other vlogs. I think that's all I've got in me right now. That is the story of my first anaphylactoid reaction. It was scary. It was traumatic. I sort of am just thinking about all the things that happened yesterday, and talking about it seems to be helpful right now. I'll probably go to my support groups and talk about it a bit more, see what people do, and mentally prepare for, because I know I have other infusions coming too. So yeah, thank you for listening, thank you for watching. Peace, love, and Cookie Monster, you guys. Stay safe, have some spoons, love, bye.